Good luck. Bye.
I was playing with the Lions and we lost this game by 1 point. Now, the Lions losing wasn't really a rare occurrence back then, but I'd rather lose by 50 than lose by 1. And so that loss, it just stung. And so, what we did after the game is we tried to numb our pain. So me and some of my boys, we decided to go out on the town, go to the club. You walk into the club and these clubs are hot. Bass is thumping. Everybody smelling like cheap cologne, perfume, and bad decisions. But then, there she was. Sometimes you see somebody that looks good, but then you see somebody that just catches your soul. Oh, that's what this girl was. Her. She was dark chocolate skin, short curly hair, more curves than a mountain highway. And she was there with some of her friends. Now listen to this. I watched her the whole night. Now, to be honest with you, and they want to creep out on you a little bit. Well, maybe I did. But I just couldn't get my attention away from her. I mean, she was just like the perfect girl. So all these guys would come up to her and offer her drinks, and she would politely refuse. What, no drinks? While all her girls that she was with were being loud and drinking louder, she had a bottle of water. Oh, this girl was different. She wasn't doing the most. And so I just couldn't help but looking at her every now and then. Okay, maybe I was looking at her all night, not in creep mode. Well, maybe I was, but I just couldn't help it. Like she just connected with me. And then she's with her friends, and I swear she looked back and we made eye contact. Now, when somebody's super fine, like maybe in your head you made up something, or maybe you kind of forced that eye contact that wasn't really there. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm tripping, but I thought it happened. And so me and my boys were just chilling, and then she looked back again and gave a smile. Oh, I was sure this time. Not only was I sure, my boys that I was with was sure too. And so they all nudged me and said, Flu, bro, did you see that? I said, yeah, I saw it. They said, bro, you got to go get her. She's the baddest thing in this club. I said, give me time. I got time. I'll be to the end of the club. We still got a long night. They said, all right, before somebody else tries to get her, you need to get her. I said, bro, give me some time. Trying to play it cool. But I wasn't cool. The night kept going on. Every minute seemed like an hour, and every hour seemed like a minute because, I just wanted to talk to this girl. So the club was over with. My boy said it again. Bro, you better go get her. This is your chance. The night is over with. So they leave and go find some other girls that they were talking to. And so at the end of the night, everybody's all sweaty, stumbling out the club. And then there she is, about 20 yards away, waiting on her car. Her friends were with somebody else. And she was between where I was and my car. So I had to walk past her to get to my car. So I'm saying to myself, this is my chance. This is my spot. So every step, you ever have those times where you can just feel your heart beating in your throat? Doom, 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 doom. Take one step. Okay, I'm 20 yards away. I'm 15 yards away. I'm getting closer. 10 yards away. And as soon as I get next to her, I reach in my pocket and pull out my phone. Hello? Oh, yeah. Oh, you need a ride? Okay. All right, I got you. Okay. All right, I'll come get you. Okay. All right, cool. Got you. I faked the phone call. And I got in my car. And I looked out the rearview mirror of my car because I could see her. Yes, I'm still being a creep. And she gets in her car that she ordered and got a ride. And she left. And I sat in the car, frustrated, mad, because I let her leave. But then this is what guys do. I try to justify it and say, she wasn't that fine anyway, but I knew she was. And I realized something at that moment, that even though I had the height, I was 6'2", even though I had the accolades. I was on a roster in the NFL. Even though I had the money, I couldn't have her because I didn't have myself. I was still the insecure guy. I was still the guy that self-sabotaged. I was still the guy that played it small. Because I didn't have me, I couldn't have her. Now, what does this have to do with our boy Krillin right here? This is Krillin. And of course, this is number 18. So what does this have to do with Krillin? Because Krillin knows a little bit about playing it small, about self-sabotage. Well, I want to tell you something about today's lesson. I want you to get this, that Dragon Ball characters are not about the characters in the story. Dragon Ball characters are characteristics of you and me. And so Krillin's story, his love story between himself and 18, is actually the story of self-belief. And it's more importantly, the story of how you need to believe in yourself to get your 18. And we're going to talk about this. So, first of all, and I hope you like my drawing. That's Krillin. You see the dots in his head. And that's 18, looking good. So first of all, you got to understand this, that Krillin didn't start out with 18. If you know Dragon Ball history, and if you don't, I'll teach you a little bit because, I think history is good. So Krillin started out with a young lady by the name of Maron. And I'll call this the Maron era. Now, if you remember Maron in Dragon Ball, and for the people who don't, I'll kind of reintroduce her for you. Maron was bad. She was a baddie. She was like the finest one out of all the Dragon Ball characters. Maron was up there. But Maron was not a source of pride for Krillin. Maron was actually a prison for Krillin. So you got to understand this. Krillin, with his insecurity, Krillin, with his self-doubt, he had this girl, Maron. And what he was always saying to himself was, am I good enough for her? Can I have her? Will she leave me for somebody else? Well, honestly, do you understand? Those were the same exact thoughts that I was having at that moment with the girl in the club. And what happens is, when you have these thoughts about yourself, they cause you to shrink back on life and not move forward in life. So let me explain something to you what insecurity really does, because it's not just what it seems like. Insecurity comes in threes, and it has three results. The number one, it comes with compromise. Number two, it comes with shame. And number three, it comes with playing small. So when you're insecure, it'll actually cause you to compromise what you know is good for you. Like, to be quite honest, with Maron, everybody knew, even including Krillin, understood, and he knew that this girl was not good for him. But she was so fine that it caused him to compromise what he knew to be right because he was insecure and he did not think he could get better. So then it causes shame. Now, I'll be honest with you. 24/7, insecurity will cause us to look over the replays of our life and look at all the failures. See, Krillin probably looked at all the times he lost in battle. Krillin probably looked at all the times his best friend Goku was successful in battle. See, shame also causes comparison as well. And so, when you compare yourself with others and you're shameful of what you have, you're going to try to do everything that you can, even when it's not correct, even when it causes you to compromise. You're going to try to be with something or somebody that speaks for you so you don't have to. See, I tried to use the NFL to speak for me. I thought that because I was 6'2", that, oh man, she's gonna come up to me. I thought that because I had the money at the time, that, oh my goodness, I can just walk up in a room and everybody should flock to me. See, but what that really is, that's actually shame, because I always looked at my losses and I thought that the things that I did or the things could represent me to make me what I wanted to be. It was really hidden shame. And the last thing that insecurity causes everybody to do is it causes everybody to play it small. Now, I mean, playing it small is kind of a metaphor for what Krillin really is. But realistically, see, Krillin in his Maron era didn't go for what he wanted. He went for what he thought he could get, or the best he thought he could get. See, he didn't think he could have the best, the greatest. He thought he could only get the best that he could get. And there's a huge difference in that between having the best and having the best you can get. It is so different that I have to talk about this, because having the best means looking out at life and saying, I want this, and I don't care what happens, I am going to get this because I want it. That's having the best. Having the best that you can get says, I'm looking at myself and I will judge myself accordingly. Maybe I want a Lambo realistically, but I think the best that I can get is a Toyota, and nothing wrong with Toyotas. They last a long time. But what happens is when you're insecure, it causes you to play it small. Krillin knew that this girl, Maron, was not the one for him. But he thought that that was the best that he could get. Why? Because of his insecurity. Now, so we're going to go through and we're going to talk about one, if not the most important aspect of Krillin's life. Because there is something that happened to Krillin that caused him to make a choice. And this choice altered the trajectory of his life. And this choice will alter the trajectory of your life, if you understand it. And I know you will, because I'm about to tell you how to understand it. In Krillin's life, something came up. And this is after he left Maron, which is good for him. And she didn't care about him anyway. After he left Maron, something came up. And this, if you remember what this is, what happened in his life, he was given a remote. Now, we got to talk about this remote. This is the most important object in Krillin's natural life. Because Krillin, with this remote, had a chance to save the world. Krillin had a chance to finally be the hero. Krillin had a chance to destroy number 18. And 18 was a villain. 18 came to destroy the earth and the people in the earth. 18 would have been responsible for Cell becoming a universally dangerous person, enemy, villain. And Krillin was given the power of the remote. But something happened prior to this. And you have to remember this scene. You got to go back. Because 18 did not destroy Krillin when she had the chance. But what did 18 do? She awakened him. With this scene right here. That kiss awakened Krillin. Now, you got to understand the position that Krillin is in right now. So he's challenged or charged to go find Android 18 and disable her and destroy her. So, but he has this awakening inside of himself as well. And so Krillin has to make the choice between what's inside him, and we'll call this love. So what's inside him is brewing up is love because of that kiss. So he has to make the choice to either destroy 18 and play it safe, or destroy the remote and find out if love can be awakened. He has to make the choice to risk the entire universe being destroyed by Cell if she gets absorbed. Or is he going to follow his love? He has to make the choice to not be everybody's hero and to be his own hero by risking it all for love. He's got to make that choice. See, sometimes life gives you choices. The choice with Maron, that was over with. He got out of that. But listen to me, and I've got to get you to understand this from a spiritual and metaphysical point. Just because you get out of something doesn't mean you don't have to get into something else. You listen to me. Listen very well. Getting out of something is not good enough. You have to get into something else. There's an old proverb that says when an evil spirit goes out of somebody, it looks for a place to go and call itself home. And when it can't find a place to call itself home, it comes back to the person that it came from and sees the environment all well and clean. And what happens is that evil spirit comes back home inside of that person and brings 7 other evil spirits, even worse than itself, back to that person. Translation, when he got out of the Maron era, he had to get into something else, or what went out of him would have to come back. And doesn't it seem like that in life? Sometimes you get out of something, you get out of the situation, and then it comes right back. You get out of a bad relationship, and then you get back into another one. You get out of a financial issue, and then you get back into another one. Why? Because when you get out of something, you have to immediately, as fast as you can, the best way that you can, get back in to something else. And this is what 18 was for Krillin. 18's job, Krillin's job, was not to destroy 18. Krillin's job was to destroy the Maron era and get back in to something else. I told you Dragon Ball is more about you than you could imagine. But here's the glory of the story. And here's what you have to understand. What 18 is all about. See, 18 was not just a love interest. 18 is a chance to get out and get into. 18 happens to us all the time if we can look for it. What does 18 happening to us mean? See, 18 is an opportunity when the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, gives you an opportunity to get into the thing that you're supposed to get into. The universe gives you an opportunity to get rid of the insecurities that held you back. The universe gives you an opportunity to love the way that you were designed to love. 18 is the universe giving Krillin another chance. 18 is the universe giving you another chance. But let's talk about 18 because 18 is very important. I'm gonna make another video about her. But the numbers 18 is super important. See, Dragon Ball is filled with metaphysics, and I want you to understand this. Now, look, I want you to get this thing. It's called it's called Vortex-based mathematics. This is Vortex math. All right, now this is going to be so important to this story. So Vortex math is based upon this. Nikola Tesla says, if you understand the 369, you understand the mysteries of the universe. So Vortex math is like this. The 9 is the king or the queen. I'm going to call her the queen of all numbers. So Vortex-based mathematics is based upon the 3, the 6, and the 9. We're only going to focus on the 9 today because the 9 is key. Now remember, it's number 18. What's 1 plus 8? Equals 9. Get this. 9 multiplied by any number always breaks back down until itself. So we'll go through this. 9 times 1 equals 9. 9 times 2 equals 18. 1 plus 8 equals 9. 9 times 3 is what? 27. 2 plus 7 equals what? 9. 9 times 4, 36. 3 plus 6 equals 9. And you can go all the way down throughout the infinite number of numbers. We can do 9 times, let's do 77. So we'll go 77 times 9. What's that? 9 times 7 is 63. 9 times 7 is 63. What's that? 663? Is that right? 63, 693, I think. 693. 6 plus 9 equals 15. 15 plus 3 equals 18. And then 18, 1 plus 8 equals 9. The 9 always breaks down to itself. Now, why is that significant in terms of this story? Because 18, number 18, you know what she represents? She represents the 9. The 9 represents Love. 18 was another opportunity for Krillin to have true love. That's what 18 was all about. 18 was the universe giving an opportunity to get out of the false love, which was Maron, the insecure love, which was Maron, and get into real love, which is 18. Now, this is so important because when 18 came around, you got to understand this. He was entranced by a kiss from her. He made the decision. He found 18. You remember the story. And at that moment, Krillin made a decision. He made a decision. Was he going to be the savior of the world, of the universe? Or was he going to realize that he was the universe that needed to be saved? See, most of us spell universe Universe. But I want you to start spelling the universe Youniverse. In this life, listen to me, it's about you becoming all that you can be. It's not about you doing things for me to make me all that I can be. No, it's about you being all that you can be. This is your universe. Krillin was willing to risk it all, and so he got the remote, and he said, he told her he loves her, and smashed the remote. But here's the crazy part of the story. 18 was still absorbed. Krillin was actually the one that almost caused the demise of the entire cosmos. And sometimes it feels like that. Sometimes when you take a step out, sometimes when you take that chance, when you make that call, sales call, when you ask that girl out, when you ask that guy out, and it feels like you get an opportunity and a chance, and it still fails. And you didn't just let everyone else down. You let yourself down. You can understand the pain that Krillin felt. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand that's not the end of the story. Because without Krillin making that decision, we never get Gohan going Super Saiyan 2. Without Krillin making that decision, we never get Vegeta telling Gohan, I apologize, and showing that raw emotion when Trunks was ultimately killed by Cell, almost. See, Krillin's decision to access love for his own universe, it looked like at first it sealed the death of the entire cosmos. But what it really did was love awakened the love that was in Vegeta and the raw power that was in Gohan. And this is why Krillin's story and your story are one and the same. But, I want to talk to you though, because all this stuff sounds good, but my goal for you is to be able to change your life. My goal for you is to be able to live the life of your dreams. See, my goal for you is to be able to use things like Dragon Ball and not just view them as entertainment, See, did you know that entertainment comes from a Latin word which actually means to hold your attention? Because I want Dragon Ball to be able to help you shape your life. That's why I use these things. That's why I use Dragon Ball to be able to teach life lessons so that you can be able to change your life. Because look, once you get this, and like my other video, if you hadn't seen the ego death video, you gotta go watch that video. But like Dragon Ball, once you understand the things, once you understand what I call the 7 laws of success and consciousness, once you understand these things, once you understand how to awaken love in your life, you actually become your own Shenron. There are 7 laws of success that I've come up with. There are 7 balls and Dragon Balls. And if you get all 7 of them, you access Shenron and you're able to create your own wish. See, when Krillin awakened love, he did not need Shenron to make 18 come back. What happened was he became his own Shenron, and she had to be spit out of cell. Why? Because that's what love will do. That's what the 9 will do. The 9 always makes it come back to itself. And this is what I want for you. But more than anything, I want you to experience this. Okay, now look. I have what I want you to get $500 out of nowhere. I've done this so many times, you would not believe it. I am my own Shenron, okay? Listen, I have a $500 challenge. It's right. Click the link in the description. I'm the only person out there that proves my methods before I start. Because look, if you do exactly what I say, I promise you that $500 will come from nowhere. Now, I don't know how long. It might be 7 days, it might be today, but I've done this so many times with so many people where they're like, oh my God, $500 came from nowhere. If you do exactly what I say, and you click the link in the description and do the $500 challenge, what I understand is I know how to hack your mind to make your mind your own Shenron, and your $500 will come to you. And then I do have a school community that is $97 that goes into the real mechanics of how to become your own Shenron. But listen to me, you don't have to do it. Like I want you to, and I want you to learn like what's really in these 7 laws of success and consciousness. But at the same time, man, I just want you to get this stuff in these videos. Because I don't want to be one of these people. I don't want to be one of these guys, one of these people online that say, okay, you buy my product and then I'll show you what to do, but you got to buy it first. No, I want to show you what to do first. And then you probably will trust me and be like, man, this dude actually knows more than I know about these things because I've studied this stuff. I've studied the Dragon Ball universe, but realistically, I've studied metaphysics and psychology and spirituality for the last 12 years every single day. And so I know why this stuff works. But guys, I just want you to understand this. You got to awaken love in your life. You got to get out of that insecurity. And I'm going to tell you how to get out of insecurity. It's not by being secure. Listen to me. Most people say, oh man, you're too nice. Just start being, more fierce and meaner. Like, bro, you're not going to do it. And that's okay. Somebody says, oh man, don't worry about being short. You're a short king. Live the life of a 6'5" person and go talk to that girl. Go talk to that guy. Again, you're not going to do it until you do it. But let me teach you how to do it every single day. You got to understand this. And here's why I'll get into this. And I was almost done with this video, but now I have more things awakening in me because I love you guys. And since I love you, I want you to get the things that I want you to get. So let me show you how this thing works and how to become your own Shenron and be able to grant your own wishes, just like Krillin did. I mean, he wished for 18. He got her. And Krillin, I got to give you some props. Krillin got good taste. So, anyway, but let's talk about this. Now, I want to get you to be able to get out of insecurity, okay? So, what you have to do is you got to understand quantum physics a little bit. Manifestation, quantum physics, spirituality, all the same stuff. With quantum physics, you have to realize that there's a thing called the observer effect. And all you have to do, these are waves, right? And these are particles, okay? We'll make it 6 dots for Krillin. So we're going to call particles. Wow, this is really, really good. All right? So we're going to call these particles. All right, so these are waves and these are particles. Now, the wave is the invisible. And this is where you actually need to start to access. The particle in quantum physics is the visible or the material. And put material here. Now, wave is the source of everything. Particle is the reflection of the source. So this is just unseen, seen, spiritual, physical, invisible, visible, wave, particle. All the same stuff. Now, what happens is, in quantum physics, is there's a thing called the observer effect, where if you have an electron or an atom, it looks very random, like the waves of the sea. It looks super random, okay? Until you put your conscious observation on it, then it collapses into particle form, all right? So waves collapse into particles by observation. When you take your attention away from the particle, well, it becomes a wave again. So realistically, this is the source of this. Most people are trying to change the particle or the material side of things on the level of material things, and you just can't do it like that. So that's why if you look at somebody who's insecure, right, and who operates in insecurity, and then somebody says, well, just be secure or change your insecurity, man, people can't do it. Because why? Insecurity comes from an invisible source. It comes from something else. And we're trying to change the effect on the level of effect, and it just doesn't work like that. You have to change the cause of the effect to change the effect. And so in order to change the effect of insecurity, all you have to do, and listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go out and you don't have to go start talking to more people. You don't have to go out and start being more courageous. You don't have to go out and start talking to more girls or more guys, whatever it is that you need to do, because most people think that I have to go physically do those things in order to get those things. I'm telling you to use your imagination and see yourself doing those things. Why? Because imagination is invisible. It's wave form, okay? I spelled that wrong. There we go. Imagination is invisible. It's wave form. So when you use the invisible and you go to the invisible, well, what happens when you put conscious attention on the invisible? Remember what I told you, the observer effect. It collapses down into materiality. So if you imagine yourself being secure, if you imagine yourself talking to that girl, talking to that guy, if you imagine yourself making those sales calls, that imagination, it will pull from the wave form and it will particleize that, and you will experience that in your life. And that's how you get out of your insecurity. This is exactly what happened to Krillin. See, that kiss, right, that 18 gave him, what was it? He went back into his imagination. This scene right here, he went back into his imagination. He saw it over and over and over and over again. And then what had to happen, that's a wave, it had to collapse down into the physical form in terms of number 18. And 18 had to become a human, had to become a wife. And then, it's funny, he named his daughter after the insecurity that he had before. It came full circle. He got out of one thing and into another thing. And that's the story of Krillin and 18.